the first seat we have Oops all board wipes with Criprats as the commander. The goal is to give Criprats lifelink and death touch and continually regenerating while wiping the board and draining the table. In the second seat we have Combo Control with Tatiova. Hit your lands, control the board, and assemble your infinite combo with Ghostly Flicker. In the third seat, we have Enchantment Spam with Satyr Enchanter as the commander. We're trying to play as many enchantments as possible, before equipping a creature with Ancestral Mask or All That Glitters to swing for the win. In the fourth seat, we have Alexios Aggro. We're trying to cast the commander and beat down with commander damage. Turn 1, Oops all board wipes plays a swamp and passes for the turn. Combo Control plays a forest for turn and plays Arbor Elf and passes the turn. Satyr Enchanter draws a card for turn, plays a forest for turn, and casts Avacyn's Pilgrim and passes the turn. Alexios draws a card for turn, plays a mountain, plays Wayfarer Bauble, and passes. In Alexios' end step, Cryptrat swamp cycles Trolls of Kozilek Doom for a basic swamp. Turn 2, Cryprats draws a card for turn, plays a land, casts Dark Ritual, casts Golem's Eye, and casts Guardian Idol before passing the turn. Combo Control uses his Forest and Arbor Elf to cast Nature's Lure, getting a basic Forest into play untapped, then plays an island for turn and casts Thought Vessel, giving it no maximum hand size. Tatiova then passes the turn. Enchantment Spam draws a card for turn and pays 3 to play its commander. Alexios plays a land for turn and passes. Cryprats plays a third swamp, giving it access to 6 mana this turn. It pays 2 for Thought Vessel, then 3 for Cryprats. Tatiova untaps for turn, and pays 5 to cast Tatiova. Tatiova then plays a land for turn, fetching and holding priority to draw 2 cards and gain 3 life. Tatiova then pays 1 blue to enchant Cryprats with Witness Protection. This, however, is not a legal play because the island should have entered tapped and Tatiova should not have had the mana to cast Witness Protection. Anyway, back to the game. In response, Cryprats activates for X equals 1, killing itself and Arbor Elves, and Avacyn's Pilgrim. Tatiova passes the turn. Enchantment Spam draws a card for turn, plays a land for turn. Enchantment Spam taps 2 to cast Transcendent Envoy. Enchantment Spam then gives its commander Totem Armor and +0/+4 before swinging at Cryprats for 2. In Enchantment Spam's end step, Alexios cracks its Wayfarer's Bauble, getting a snow-covered mountain. Alexios Aggro plays a land for turn and taps 4 to cast Alexios. Cryprats untaps, gains control of Alexios, puts a counter on it before drawing a card. Cryprats then taps 5 to recast Cryprats. Cryprats then swings Alexios at Enchantment Spam. Enchantment Spam takes 5 damage from Alexios. Combo Control untaps, plays a land for turn, and with the trigger from Tatiova holds priority to crack the land. Tatiova then gets a tapped basic forest into play, drawing 2 cards, gaining 2 life. Tatiova then taps 1 green to enchant an island with Wild Growth. Then Tatiova taps 4 to cast Deep Analysis and draw 2 cards. After that, Tatiova passes the turn. Enchantment Spam untaps, gains control of Alexios, and gives it an extra counter. Enchantment Spam casts Angelic Renewal, drawing a card. Enchantment Spam then attacks Cryprats with Alexios, and Alexios with its commander. Both take the damage. Enchantment Spam then makes it so that Alexios can no longer attack, and passes the turn. Alexios untaps, and casts Fire Mine Diamond, and then passes the turn. Criprats gains control of Alexios, who can no longer attack, and untaps. Criprats taps forward to give its commander +2/+2 and lifelink. Criprats then passes the turn. Tetiova untaps and draws a land for turn. Tetiova then taps 3 to cast Frantic Search, drawing 2 cards and discarding 2 cards, and untap 3 lands. Tetiova then flashes back Deep Analysis from the graveyard. Tetiova plays an island as land for turn and casts Scale of Heights, drawing a card, putting a 1/1 counter on Tetiova, and gaining 2 life. Tetiova also finally grabs Alexios and puts a counter on it. Tetiova plays its second land for turn from Scale the Heights, gains another life, and draws another card. In Enchantment Spam's upkeep, Criprats activates for 2, dealing 2 damage to everything and gaining a ton of life. Enchantment Spam then cantrips, giving its commander +1/+1 and vigilance, and drawing a card. Enchantment Spam casts Flaming Fist and swings with its now double striking commander at Combo Control. Combo Control takes the 6 damage, and Enchantment Spam passes the turn to Alexios. Alexios untaps, places a counter on its commander, plays Guardian Idol, and plays Star Compass, and then draws a card with Spare Supplies. When Alexios passes the turn, Criprats activates with X = 2, dealing 2 damage to everyone and everything, while gaining a ton of life. Criprats draws a card for turn, and pays 3 for Read the Bones. Criprats keeps 1 on top, puts 1 on bottom, loses 2 life, and draws 2 cards. Criprats pays 1 for Campfire, and swings with its 3/3 lifelink commander at Enchantment Spam, gaining 3 life after no blockers are declared. Criprats passes the turn. Combo Controls untaps, places a counter on Alexios, and draws a card. Combo Control pays 2 for Sakura Tribe Elder and instantly sacks them to go get a basic island into play tapped. Tetiova plays Mystic Sanctuary as land for turn, returning Frantic Search top of its library. Then Tetiova gains a life and draws the Frantic Search from the top of its library. Tetiova then passes the turn. Enchantment Spam untaps, draws a card, plays a land for turn, and then remembers to gain control of Alexios. Enchantment Spam casts Conviction, targeting its commander to draw a card. It goes to combat and swings its double strike commander at Criprats, dealing it 8 commander damage. Enchantment Spam then returns Conviction to its hand and recasts it, drawing another card. Before passing the turn, Enchantment Spam plays a forest as land for turn, and Criprats activates, dealing 2 damage to everyone and everything. Alexios untaps, places a counter on Alexios, cracks Spare Supplies, casts Experimental Synthesizer, and plays a land, exiled with Experimental Synthesizer. Alexios then plays Wedding Announcement and passes the turn. In Alexios' end step, Criprats activates for 2, dealing 2 damage to everything, and gains 14 life. Criprats also taps Campfire to gain 2 life. Criprats draws a card for turn, plays a land for turn, draws 2 cards, and deals 2 damage to everyone. Criprat then remembers to grab Alexios. Criprats swings at 3 commander damage at Enchantment Spam. During Criprats' end step, Tetiova starts cantripping Ghostly Flicker, targeting Mystic Sanctuary and a forest. What this does is it returns Ghostly Flicker to the top of the library and activates 2 draws while gaining 2 life. So, Tetiova essentially can pay 1 mana to gain 2 life and draw a card. Tetiova casts Ghostly Flicker, targeting Mystic Sanctuary 5 times before going to its untap. Tetiova draws. Tetiova casts Utopia Sprawl, Lotus Petal, and then Pick Your Poison. With Pick Your Poison, it names each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Criprets then gives itself Death Touch and activates for 6 times, dealing 6 Death Touch lifelink damage to everything. But before that damage is dealt, Tetiova casts Tamiyo's Safekeeping, giving itself Indestructible and gaining 2 life. Alexios and Satyr Enchanter both die, but Tetiova is untouched. Tetiova then casts Peregrine Drake, untapping 5 lands. Tetiova then casts Ghostly Flicker, targeting Mystical Sanctuary and Peregrine Drake. This gives Tetiova infinite mana, and after Tetiova has infinite mana, it then continues to cast Ghostly Flicker, targeting a Mystical Sanctuary and a Forest. This allows Tetiova to gain as much life as Tetiova wants, and draw as many cards as Tetiova wants. So, Tetiova draws cards until it draws Murmuring Mystic. Tetiova then plays Murmuring Mystic, and plays an infinite number of Ghostly Flickers, making an infinite number of birds. Tetiova then continues to draw cards until it draws Capsize. Tetiova then casts Capsize on every permanent each opponent controls and passes the turn. During everyone else's turn, Tetiova casts Ghostly Flicker, making infinite mana again, and then capsizes anything that their opponents play, including their lands. Then, when it gets back to Tetiova's turn, Tetiova swings with an infinite number of birds and wins the game.